All right, looks like we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Brunch, here with your host, Caitlin Bird. We have recently moved to a new time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not too much of a difference between the first one because it was only 10 a.m. But now that puppy classes have ended for us and Reaver, we can now go back to our original time. So welcome, guys. If this is your first time here, I am so excited to meet you. Thank you so much for coming. This is a time to sit back, relax, grab your water bottle or a mimosa if you are that kind of a fancy bruncher. And just chat about the news of the week and to get to know you guys. So this is a time where I like to, interact with the people that I've met online throughout the week, just to get to know more about you, just to hang out, chill, low stress atmosphere, just talk about the dog news that happened over the week. And there's actually a couple of good news stories that I'm really excited to share with you guys. And then we'll end it on some Reddit as well. Okay. So if you are here, please let me know that you are here so I'm not just talking to my office wall. I would comment down below. And before you comment, make sure to give StreamYard permission so that I can see your name. If you haven't gotten like a little update or anything for giving them permission, you might just have to refresh your screen and you'll be able to give StreamYard permission. Hello, Kelly. Nice to see you. Hey. How's your weekend going? I hope it's going great. What are you drinking this morning? More water? Water is great for you. All right. So let me pull up my software here and get the first news story going. Here we go. This is what I want. Okay. So I am really interested in this particular story because all of us know this is titled, Woman Says Service Dog Denied Flight. Let me move myself. Here we go. Shrink that, move it over here. Denied flight out of FLL amid crackdown on emotional support animals and planes. Hey, Facebook user, what's going on? Remember to give StreamYard permission so that I can see your name. If you don't know how to do that, you might just have to refresh your page, and then there might be something. I've never done it from my end, so I'm not sure what it looks like, but you should be able to give it permission. Yes, with watermelon infused. Oh, Kelly. Oh, the self-care boat is high today for you. All right. Okay, so here we go. This was an interesting one. I started watching it because we all know 2 weeks ago, the Department of Transportation has changed the rules for flights and has really given the airlines a lot of leeway onto what they will and will not allow on their flights. So let's see what this woman has to say and what happened with her and her service dog.
Well, the feds have tightened the leash when it comes to animals on board airplanes.
One woman trying to fly out of Fort Lauderdale says she was grounded because of the confusion over the new rules. My team's Karen Hensel has tonight's 7 Investigates.
A woman tried to bring a peacock on a plane, saying it was her emotional support animal.
I'm not kidding, this woman is wrangling her peacock into the airport.
Then there was this furry flyer, Daisy the emotional support squirrel, forced off a flight in Orlando.
I said, you're not taking my squirrel, sorry.
Emotional support animals, from pigs to ducks, had been allowed to fly for free, but some passengers took advantage.
I mean, that duck has booties. You know that's a well taken care of duck.
Emotional support animals and service animals, and it's made it increasingly difficult for people who have true service animals.
That's why the U.S. Department of Transportation cracked down on the free-for-all. New rules allow airlines to ban emotional support animals, and they make clear a service animal is a dog that is individually trained to do work or perform tasks.
Hold up, right? So remember how we talked about this last week, the week before, where we were going over this exact page in the DOT, on the DOT's website, and how they say it's a dog trained to work or perform tasks. Now, this is still up. Well, this is the final rule, right? So I still think they need more feedback for what considers a trained service animal, because the ADA, I believe they even have miniature horses under the ADA because they are protected under the Americans with Disability Act. So I feel a lot of what they've done, the DOT has done, is really good. But I also feel there are still several more tweaks they need to do in order to, accommodate for the well-trained miniature horses that, last I checked, and I don't know if they're still around or still doing this. I think they are. There is an organization somewhere in the U.S. that trains these miniature horses specifically for people with disabilities. So, I feel like they might be a good person to bring this up. But anyways, here we go.
Ask for the benefit of a person with a disability.
This is Nimbus.
Reba Barker says she depends on her small dog, Nimbus. He is trained to detect when she's about to have a panic attack.
He alerts me to let me know that I need to take medicine before I have a full-blown attack.
In December, she says she had to cancel her JetBlue flight out of Fort Lauderdale after being questioned about the dog.
It's on my ticket, service animal, in wheelchair. I always do that when I book my flight online. Then I call the disability section and they write it in and assign me a seat.
Reba, who says she suffers from several medical conditions, feels she mistakenly got caught up in the debate over service versus emotional support dogs.
They asked, is it a service dog? Yeah, it's a service dog. Well, what service does he provide? And I said medical alert. He goes, what do you mean medical alert? There's no such thing as medical alert. I said, what do you mean it's medical alert? He alerts me to a medical condition.
And you didn't want to share your medical information.
Well, it's none of their business.
So remember, I think Dave was on here. Yeah, grr. I think Dave. Is this Dave? Dave, is that you? I don't know who this is. I don't know who that is. But this is exactly the point that I was bringing up. Right? There are going to be growing pains whenever a new law is in effect, right? And I'm feeling this is the growing pain, right? People need to learn and have that time to understand what are tasks. Because it sounds like it was a flight attendant telling this person this, or somebody that works for the airlines who is not savvy with service dogs, saying, oh, there's no such thing as medical alert. Like, diabetes detection dogs, anybody? Like, that all falls under medical alert. So it's part of the growing pains. And like I said, I was predicting this to happen. It's part of the growing pains. So it might take them a while to figure this out and where they're going to be going from here, as well as maybe eventually understanding that well-trained miniature horses can also have access rights. Kelly, I did the forms. It asks for my service, but not the task. You mean your service dog? I'm not sure what you mean. It asks for my service, but not the task. Oh, it does ask for your disability. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because that form is finally now on the DOT website. We were waiting a couple weeks for that to come up. Yeah, she shouldn't have to share her medical information. Absolutely not. I'm in Canada from Facebook user. I'm in Canada, but still don't want to see this going on anywhere. I love how some people think they know everything and couldn't possibly not know something. Yeah. Well, I mean, and they're in a position of authority, right? And they're probably just saying what their higher ups have told them, right? So really, it's important for us to stay level-headed because this is a learning curve for everybody. I mean, when the majority of people think that they can't ask a dog in public if it's a service dog, we have a long way to go for education. So it's really important to stay level-headed in this kind of situation and just be patient and, help people understand. It's not a fight, right? It's not us against them. This is something you have to help with.
Specific diagnosis has to be disclosed ever. the employees at the airport can ask if it's a dog if it's a service animal for a person with a disability, and what has the dog been trained to do.
JetBlue, in a statement to 7 Investigate, said crew members engaged.
So, I'm almost wondering, right? She said he's medical alert and she doesn't want to give the details of what he does. But she could have said, he lets me know before a medical episode happens and I could be, left stranded, or I could be left in a very bad situation, right? You can still be vague about it. But I think this is also your responsibility as a handler to be prepared for these situations so that you can handle it level-headedly, right? Because I remember professionally, I worked with animals for, I'm turning 32 this week, and I feel like I can't even remember how many years. Like I started volunteering for birds and animals very young, like in my teenage years, and to see how people have been trained to act professionally or haven't been trained to act professionally, to see these two. And to see who's more successful simply because they're prepared, they're level-headed, they know what to say next, right? Or even if they're just practicing a spiel. I remember having to do that all the time when I worked at the aquarium and volunteered at the aquarium. We had to have our little spiels, and we had to handle situations when they got tough and when it was tense, right? Or even if you weren't allowed to handle those kind of situations, go talk to the manager. Right. So it's important to put yourself and be ready for these situations as well. Right. It could have gone better if she handled it in a different situation. I'm not saying it would have, but you need to be ready for those situations. Right. Get a spiel, start writing things down, practice in front of a mirror. I remember practicing in front of a mirror for hours. And I think that was for my second job. I worked at Busch Gardens at Rhino Rally. Rhino Rally is this really cheesy, really corny ride. And you say all of these funny jokes about all these random animals that are, in the African environment. But I remember practicing for hours in front of the mirror. Right? And that's important. That's a skill you have to build up. And I know especially for a lot of people who might have, some dogs there for emotions that are for, different conditions. That's a skill that you're going to have to start working on. And it can be harder for some people than it is for others, but it's a needed skill. It's a 100% needed skill. Okay.
To the customer, asking standard and permitted questions about the specific task the animal was trained to perform. The customer provided conflicting and unclear information.
That's what I'm talking about, right? If the customer, I don't know what all was said, right? It said conflicting and unclear. So it sounded like she got flustered and she didn't know really what to say next, or maybe she told something to one person, maybe got her head back on and started saying something else to somebody else, right? So again, you need to practice, you need to be professional. You can't get emotional about it and just be unprepared for it, because when you're unprepared, then you get emotional. Then people start to freak out. Don't do that. Right? Set yourself up for success. And by the way, guys, if you're finding this helpful, share this to all the service dog groups that you know of, right? If you are finding this commentary helpful, if you are gaining information from this, please share this to groups that you regularly visit, and you love, and would need this kind of information and would like to stay up to date for the latest service dog related news. Because we guaranteed every week, every week we go over something with service dogs.
Clear information. The airline says it gave Reba options, including allowing the dog to fly as an in-cabin pet, but that costs money. Reba declined, and the airline refunded her for the flight. If this happens to you, you do have options before the flight.
In a pinch, I would certainly ask for an ADA coordinator, a supervisor from the airline, trying to resolve something on the spot.
Reba was able to get a flight.
So she says an ADA coordinator. I didn't know you could request that at an airport. I don't know if any of you guys have tried that, but that might be something I need to look into in the immediate future. Hold up. I have my sticky notes over here. Oh, okay. I have my sticky notes over here. Airline ADA. Did she say communicator? What'd she call that? I have the memory of a goldfish.
On another airline, was able to get a flight on another airline.
The airline just, trying to resolve something on the spot. Pinch, I would certainly ask for an ADA coordinator.
Coordinator, okay. Coordinator. Interesting. I would suggest you guys write that down too.
A supervisor from the airline, just, trying to resolve something on the spot.
Reba was able to get a flight on another airline. If you plan to travel with your service dog, the new rules can be confusing. So we have information and links on our website at WSVN.com. Karen Hensel, 7 News.
Yeah, I've never heard of an ADA coordinator either, Kelly. Okay, so that was the first article. What do you guys think? Right? Because like I said, I totally expected there to be some learning curves, and I'm sure there's going to be more that come up. I'm sure there's going to be many, many more that come up, because I was Reaver and I. So we've been looking for a lot of pet-friendly places to go visit for our training. We recently went to Dick's Sporting Goods, which is a pet-friendly store. Right. I called ahead. I'd never had a dog in their store before. So I called ahead. I was like, hey, what's your pet policy? And I kid you not, the guy on the phone answers, well, we're not really allowed to ask if it's a service dog. And I'm like, whoa. One, that's not what I asked. Two, what are you talking about? Right. And then I said, okay, well then what is your store pet friendly? And they said, yes. I'm like, okay. That's all I wanted to know, if it's pet friendly, not service dog friendly, pet friendly, right? Because they should be service dog friendly. But again, it's a learning curve, and there's going to have to be a lot of learning for this. So, I mean, if there's anybody in the Lehigh Valley area that would like to have a professional come in and speak and educate people about some of what the laws say, I'm not for legal advice, right? But I can help interpret and show you the actual resources that you need to be using for what is and isn't allowed with service dogs. Okay, so if you're a business in the Lehigh Valley that might need some more information, would like your employees more educated on it, more than happy to come in, tell you guys a little bit more about it, what isn't allowed, and I will do my best to answer any of the questions that you have regarding this. Southwest is not requiring forms yet. They have not changed their policy. Okay. So are you sure they're not even for the DOT flight forms? Because the airlines can have their own forms, as far as from what I can understand, in addition to the DOT's flight forms. But I'm assuming that the DOT is just, the end all be all, and you should just fill it out anyway. Yeah. So Facebook user says her health conditions. My kids and I live with neuro differences, and these can really impact us in stressful situations. I wonder if there is a Canadian Disability Coordinator in airports. That's a great question. I am not in Canada. That is a great question. I'll find out and let you know. Absolutely. Regardless, this is youth planning ahead. Right? This is you being prepared. So that is fantastic. That is fantastic, Facebook user. Okay. All right, next story. I know a lot of people. Young girl in need of service dog asks for community's help. This is about a young girl. I believe she has ADHD and autism spectrum disorder. And she is looking to get a dog, I believe, from Four Paws for Ability. And they're doing fundraising, because you need to fundraise. I believe their minimum to get in for fundraising is $17,000. And this is their story. So let's learn more about this young girl in need of a service dog.
Girl is hoping she will soon have her very own service dog to help her deal with disabilities that she's been living with for most of her life. So Ashley, you met this little girl today to tell us how this dog would change her life.
You know, Trisha, simply going to a restaurant or a grocery store is a difficult task for this 11-year-old Isabella Thacker. She has ADHD and autism, but a special and very expensive four-legged friend could make everyday tasks much easier, not only for Isabella, but her entire family.
Learning that not everybody likes kisses. I like kisses.
Yeah. 11-year-old Isabella Thacker is hoping she will soon have a service dog like this that will not only give her kisses anytime she wants, but also help her live with a disability. How do you think that's going to help you?
I'll have a friend.
I look at it as she just thinks differently. There isn't anything wrong with her or anything like that. Her brain just works differently.
Isabella was diagnosed with ADHD when she was 6 and autism about a year and a half ago. Her mom says this year has been especially difficult as Isabella went from elementary school to Harrison Junior School.
She's had very difficult time socializing with other children, making friends, things like that. So we started looking into coping mechanisms for her.
That's when they learned about 4 Paws for Ability, a nonprofit that trains service dogs.
They learn how to break their arms away from their face if they're hitting themselves or pulling their hair. If they're having a panic attack, they can do behavior disruption by laying over their legs.
But a dog like Antigua is not cheap. The Thackers must pay $17,000 of their own money on top of more than $20,000 coming from 4 Paws. But thanks to an anonymous donor, the Thackers will only need to come up with half of the $17,000. Because of the financial strain and not knowing if they will raise that amount of money, Megan didn't want to tell Isabella about the dog until today.
That's pretty cool. To go everywhere with you. School,
Really?
the airport, the grocery store, everywhere.
Wow!
Isabella is
Aw,
already
that's so
excited
cute.
at the prospect of having her very own service animal and friend.
It's really sad to see her coming home upset because why won't anybody be my friend?
Sit.
Oh, look at that.
She listens. Good girl.
And I really think a service dog will be that bridge that will really get her where she needs to be.
If I don't have it, then I will be sad.
If you would
Aw.
like to donate for Isabella to get a service dog through for
If I don't have it, if I don't get it, I'll be sad. Aw. I'm sure Isabella would be very sad. So let's see. You can directly make a donation to 4 Paws on their website. I think that's it. 4 Paws for Ability. Here. I think what they do, oh, there we go. mightycause.com. That's one I haven't heard of yet. I know of Kickstarter and what's the other popular fundraising one? Oh, wow, look, they made their goal over by $250 and they have 2 months left. That's awesome. See, and this is the thing, right? So for anybody who is raising funds for their service dog, it is so possible, right? How long ago did this story come out? January 21st. It's 3 days later, guys. And they reached more than their goal before their end. And they had that wonderful news story. You know, it's just like when I was talking with Eli's parents and raising funds for their service dog. Their goal was $25,000, and they had $15,000 donated by an anonymous donor through a check. It's so possible. It's really possible if you treat it as a full-time job. Because if you can't treat fundraising as a full-time job, what makes you think you can go and train your service dog, which is pretty much a full-time job, right? So, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. 100%. Aw. Thank you, Facebook users. I've been paying everything myself so far, collecting empties since last May. Empties. Empty what? Empty what? But, you know, you can do it. It can happen. You need the chutzpah. You need to treat it as if you're working 40 hours a week for this, right? But it's totally possible. It's 100% possible. And I know a lot of people feel uncomfortable about fundraising. I'm trying to think here. That's good. No, that's good. Hold up. I have a book recommendation. It's not directly related about fundraising, but here, let me make myself bigger so you guys can see. Be right back. Hold up. Let me grab my book. Okay. This is a good general book about how people achieve success, whether that's in business, whether that's in fundraising, whether that's in having some sort of dream that you want to work towards. Maybe you want to know Oprah, right? Maybe you want to know Oprah. Oh, hey, Dave's here. Awesome. Nice to see you. This is a recommendation. This is a book that I would recommend to get started on. Now, a lot of the things in this book you can't do necessarily these days, or you want to reduce how often you're doing those kinds of things, like going out for brunch in a closed location, right? But this is about building relationships, maintaining those relationships, leveraging what you can give people, and how we can be reciprocal and build good, strong, standing relationships. And I also feel like maybe sometimes, depression has a lot of causes, whether it's nutrition, whether it's, lack of being social. I know whenever I get depressed, it's usually is quickly reversed when I can somehow reach out to people and start being human again, right? And of course, that's harder in COVID. But, book recommendation. If you haven't read it, or it's also available on Audible if you're more for listening, but I would definitely recommend this book. I am only about halfway through, but I am enjoying every minute so far. Okay. So if you are fundraising, this can help get you inspired on what you can do to help reach your goals. Okay. Oh, got you. Cans, bottles, anything that has a deposit or can be turned in for cash. Yeah. Can't bring yourself to create a GoFundMe. My daughter's puppy has already cost me $5,000 and she's only 7 months old. Start with that book, get some inspiration. That's what I can tell you. Start with it, get some inspiration. And once you start, the prerequisite to action and being comfortable with something is you have to think about it. You have to play with ideas in your mind. You have to consider it for a prolonged period of time, especially if you're scared about it, right? You have to start thinking about it and start maybe even talking with people on the internet about it to get more comfortable with it. Because obviously, if you can't just bring yourself to it, you have more work to do in your own head to get you there. I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right. Let's shrink some more. Now we're going to go into the fun stuff. Reddit. Okay. $5,000 Canadian. Depression is also an illness and sometimes just is, regardless of life. Right. Well, that's why we work with service providers, and there's a lot of stuff out there. Okay. But it's continual work, and that's definitely, sometimes that happens. So hopefully this will help lift your spirits. We have a Reddit. Now, if this is your first time being here, guys, Reddit is a giant chat board for lots of people from all over the world, and you don't always know what's going to show up. Okay? You don't always know what's going to show up. And if you are in the room with kids, or if you're in the room with someone who has sensitive ears, put on your headphones, put the kids away, or go into your own little spot, because this is going to be your last warning about what we could potentially find on Reddit, like bad words. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, we're in. So the 3 subreddits that I have here today is awe. I always have subreddit awe come up because there's cute and fluffies. The subreddit 2 is Made Me Smile. We haven't actually gone on this one too much. I haven't seen it pop up in the feed too regularly. And then the last one, of course, always a good one, is Interesting as Fuck. And if I warned you, well, this is why I warned you, right? Never know what's going to come up. This one especially. Okay, hold up. We have to watch this one. Hold up. So apparently gators are on ice in North Carolina. They're cold-blooded, don't generate their own body heat. So they go into hibernation called brumation, where they freeze underwater. See, this I did not know because being in Florida, it doesn't freeze. So reduce, oh, okay. All right, you pet that frozen gator snout. That's crazy. Oh, he's moving. So they can still move. That's crazy. I mean, this must be a special adaptation only to the ones that are in North Carolina. Because I can't imagine having a Florida gator, putting them in that position and expecting them to live. Like, it's just the weirdest thing. Oh, so cool, Dave. Said, almost missed you. Was chatting with my friend. Just got her IAABC certification, but apparently it's a long hauler with COVID. Yeah, because there's like everything has to be done virtually, I'm assuming, for IAABC. And there's I think there's like a mentorship in there, right? IAABC does a mentorship. If I were to get a certification, it would be IAABC, hands down. That's what I would do. And then also, if it was for temperament testing dogs, it would be Susan Clothier's carrot testing. But that costs a lot of money too. So maybe in the future, it would be great to be a certified carrot temperament tester. Optical illusion mural by Peta in Mannheim, Germany. Oh, I guess we're just going into subreddit Interesting as Fuck. Mannheim. That is interesting. I guess it's all, is it paint? Is that all paint? It says optical illusion. Keep the window there. More windows. It's really cool. Very well done. I mean, can you imagine being this good at painting a large mural? I mean, look at all that shading. That is fantastic. So good. You know what I really love? I love people who are really good at their craft. And they might be super crazy passionate about it. So here's the thing. Are you guys familiar with Ramsey? Is that his last name? Something Ramsey, chef. What's his name? Chef Ramsey? Hold up. Chef Ramsey. Gordon Ramsay. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Google. I love you. This is why I love you. Are you guys familiar? Right. Okay, Gordon. Yes. I do think that's amazing. Absolutely, Facebook user. I think that's amazing. So Gordon Ramsay. I love Gordon Ramsay. I often say he is my spirit animal. Now, hold up. If you are only familiar with his long time ago previous cooking shows, what is it like? Listen, you're good at this, right? You say Gordon Ramsay. What was his previous cooking shows? Right? And he was constantly yelling at the people saying, like, how are you possibly a chef? Like, you can't even do this basic stuff. And he was so mad all the time. Follow his YouTube channel because that is only one side of him. His other side, he has 2 kids. He's actually teaching the kids how to cook. And if you're watching him teach the kids how to cook, like, your heart will melt. It is heart melt worthy. So, and he just does things. Like, you can tell when he's doing stuff, he can just do it in his sleep. And that's how I feel when I'm training my animals, especially birds and parrots. Like, I'm just like, I can just do this in my sleep, right? So that's why he's my spirit animal. Like, here's this Hell's Kitchen. Yes, it's Hell's Kitchen. It's Hell's Kitchen Facebook user. So that's why I love him, right? He's got both sides. Like, and when you see someone doing something wrong, or to me, doing something bad to an animal in the name of training, I get so passionate and angry and upset. Obviously, if it's a real person that I know, I don't yell at them. I don't get angry at them. If they're really looking for another way, I help them and I guide them and I'm nurturing. But it's like those two polar opposites that you hold inside yourself because you're so passionate about it. And you're just like, why and how does this happen? But hold up, wait, let me help you if you really need the help, right? So that's why I say Gordon Ramsay really is my spirit animal. Dave, actually, I wonder, do you guys have spirit animals? Dave, Facebook user, Kelly, do you guys have spirit animals? Let me know. Who are your spirit animals? I always said, I don't know if you guys read Harry Potter. I know some of you are too old for Harry Potter, and I'm just a young one, right? But I remember reading Harry Potter. I think I always said my Patronus would be a swan. Because if you're my friend, it's great, but if you mess with anybody, like, I'm going to mess you up. Like, I would, my Patronus would be a swan. Plus, they're beautiful. They're freaking gorgeous. Like, who wouldn't want to have a swan Patronus, right? It's me, Carrie from Canada. Hello, Carrie from Canada. Nice to see you. Oh my gosh, awesome. Yes, yeah, you do a lot of dog sports, right? You have all the cool crazy dogs, I believe. I think so. That's okay. I've got a cool crazy dog too. His name's Reaver. He's nuts. Polar bear petting a dog. Why? What? Weird. What the heck? Why? It's on. Oh, it's like one of those. It's probably one of those sledding dogs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because he's chained over here, which is really common. Okay. Weird. Thanks. Oh, Estet. Okay. You don't do sports too? Okay. I think I have somebody else. You said it's Carrie. I think it was Corinne. I think I'm speaking to somebody else named Corinne that does it. Karinn. What is this? Pedestrian bridge. Pretty. It's very nice. It's green. I like green. The entire set for Sean Connery's The Hunt for Red October was built to move like a real submarine. Yeah, have you guys seen this? I've seen this. Looks like a dog making friends with a polar bear, right? Look at that. I bet you they got major leg muscles from working on this set. No one's telling me know what your Patronus. Oh wait, Dave, I would hope for it to be a wolf. Yes, you would have a wolf Patronus. Awesome. Awesome. What kind of wolf? Is it that weird red wolf we discovered the other week? We're like, what? What's with red wolves? They look like coyotes. Winter in Loman Street, Amsterdam. Guys, look at that. I love the mood. I love the mood. And of course, it's got all these road bumps. Keep everything slow. But you can tell it's a nice neighborhood. Look at these cars. Like, everybody has Audis. Well, 2 people have Audis. I don't know about that. It looks like a van. Oh, we can zoom up even more. Oh, it looks like a Beamer. Not sure what that is. More vans. It's like vans and Beamers and Audis. Weird. And then bicycles. Just all these bicycles. Lots of bicycles. I wonder what Amsterdam's like. Anybody been? Dave, I know you're a world traveler. Gray wolf? Gotcha. They're big. What the heck? In 2010, Forrest Fenn, a U.S. fighter pilot turned art dealer, published a memoir, The Thrill of the Chase. It contained a 24-stanza poem with clues to buried treasure hidden in the Rocky Mountains worth millions. After a decade-long search, the treasure was found in June 2020. No! No! Lies. Lies. I don't believe it. Look at this. What is that even? It's just a giant plate. It's 2 plates of gold. Like what even? I don't understand. And who's this guy? Like, was he the one that was hiding it? That doesn't make sense. Like this, you think this guy is going around the Rocky Mountains, like finding treasure? I don't know. I mean, they're tough, Scott tells me he loves nothing more when there's news stories with like an old vet from Vietnam vet or something, and there's like this young punk that like breaks into their home, and the old vet just totally messes the kid up and like, you're not gonna come and break into my house and try to steal my shit. And I'm like, okay, I can see why you like those news stories. Like, that's legit. That's legit. Carrie says her spirit animal might be a fox. What kind of fox? Girl, there's so many gorgeous foxes out there. Key. Rusty key that works no more. See, like, this does not look the same as that. Does it? I don't know. Maybe it's just the lighting. Like, are those the same coins? I'm not even sure because I don't know, man. Like actual gold on the gold ore. I think that's what it's called, right? Ore. There's rumors of all kinds of treasure caches in the western states. Well, I'm not in the west. I'm in the east side. That's unfortunate. Oh, but there is that gold plate thing. Maybe it is. Okay, we need to fact check this. Let's check. What do they say in the comments here? What do they say? View entire discussion. I remember reading about this and watching a documentary on it. Glad to know someone finally found it. What? It's real? Are you kidding me? They almost look like Canadian loonies? Okay. I remember watching several things on this and people hunting for it, but then forgot until I saw this post. No dude kind of sucks. Fenn did this as his legacy. He loves treasure hunts and was meant to be hidden for hundreds of years to keep his name alive as hunters search for the elusive treasure. Didn't even last a decade and the guy's still alive. Complete failure. Ah, that burns. He can do it again though, right? Asked to end the treasure hunt because of how risky it became, but instead he opted to give additional clues to help hunters on their quests. Oh, so he wanted it. Cool. Okay. Well, that's cool. Dave, I want to know more about those rumors. Like, are they legit or are they just rumors? Statue of Nyoran in Japan, the tallest statue of a goddess in the world. Abandoned mall filled with snow. Malls, man, they're like, unless you're like a super big mall, like in King of Prussia, where there's the KOP mall, they're doing fine. Supposedly. I mean, I'm sure their profits might be down, but when we went there, I believe it was a week or two ago, there were no stalls closed, no stalls empty. All the hotsy stores were open. Yeah, that's a statue. That's a statue. Yeah. I just think that would be cool. Like, I would feel like someone was always watching me. I feel like that's the point of a statue like this. Like, her head's even tilted down. Like, I'm watching you. Remember who's there. Remember who your goddess is, right? Oh, little bats. What does it say? In the 1800s, Greek prostitutes would advertise via their shoes. They often read, "Follow me," which would be imprinted into the sand. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Nuclear cooling towers being demolished. I feel like we have to watch this. Oh, wow. Wow. You can tell that that was controlled. You can tell that that was planned. You can tell whoever did this knew what they were doing. It's boop. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. Boop. Boop. Crazy. Reflection in Yosemite National Park. What do you mean a reflection? Oh, wow. So this isn't even the actual photo of the trees. This is just the water. That's worse than cooking a huge dinner and watching it be devoured in minutes. Do you have teenagers? or is it just a family thing? Yeah, there's a teenager living in this house, and you don't even have to cook anything. Just things just disappear in 2 days after you go shopping. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Oh, so yeah, because you can even see the stones. I was wondering what those were. Yeah, teenagers. I knew it. I remember being a teenager and being a bottomless pit too. I do. It was great. Machines paving a banked racetrack. Wow. That's tough, man. An eclipse as seen from the ISS. Wow. Very cool. This detail in this artwork. Yeah, phoenixes are cool. Everything's like so even, and I mean, it's not perfect. I'm noticing some things. That's just my OCD. But yeah, it's really good. What else? What is that? You ever seen a king cobra nest before? They're the only snakes that build their own nests rather than find one, due in part to their exceptionally high intelligence. I don't know. This kind of looks like an igloo, and there's like an entrance there. I don't know. Is this real? King cobra nest. If that's the same photo. This looks more realistic. PDF. Notes on the distribution and natural history of the king cobra. See, this looks like a legit source. Okay, well. I'm not really finding, I'm only finding that one photo. And like this, like that, if this is like a little mound, that also makes sense. Nothing that huge though, unless there's more like cobras collaborating on that, right? Let's see. Hold up. What do the people of Reddit have to say? Hey, look, a haystack jumping. Have fun. Have fun. How in the world of reality does a snake make this large of a nest, right? A decent foundation and solid studs and joists. They start with a quality floating slab. In the survey they perform first, recommends it. If the survey they perform first recommends it, I don't get it. 16-inch on center. Forbidden haystack. Yep. I don't know. I can't say I know for sure at this very moment. Interesting. See, here's something on Facebook. We all know how we can trust Facebook. This is from King Cobra Conservancy, female king cobra guarding the nest that she built herself for her eggs. These clever snakes coil their body around the leaves, adding them to their mound until it's nice and secure. And you better believe that no one messes with them when mom is on guard. Photo credit to Joe Waisel. I can't. Sorry. Joe W. Okay. See, this is more of the size of a nest that I would be expecting from that size of a snake. That makes sense. All right, so we have a source. That's cool. What the walrus is going on here? All right, cool. Well, got to the bottom of that. What are you guys doing today? What's going on? Miniville Park. Oh, that's cute. World's smallest park. Miguel Marquez and Michael Pedersen. You know, that'd be perfect for Titan. He could fit right in that bench. That would work. That would work. Oh, the underside of a flipped over iceberg. I love this stuff. Oh, so it's not like in motion flipping? Okay. But that's cool. Look how freaking blue that is. That's ridiculous. And iceberg science is really freaking cool. Doesn't it look like there's like a dolphin in there? I swear it looks like there's a dolphin in there. Do you see that? It looks like a dolphin. But anyways, iceberg science is super cool. Maybe not actual icebergs, but like core sampling of ice. There's a lot of stuff that is frozen, especially in Russia. What's a specific area of Russia where they're finding giant woolly mammoths frozen and all that jazz? I think Dave knows what it is. Oh, things like lost gold mines, outlaw caches, things like that. I suspect mostly rumors, but rumors often have a basis in fact, so who knows? Yeah, that would be really cool to find some places like that. Okay. All right, lots of cool stuff. Should we go to another subreddit? Yeah. We have Awe and Made Me Smile. This one was pretty cool. First picture was at the peak of my depression. Second is a recent one after almost a year of medication and self-care. I thought that was really great. I'm actually really surprised if that's only a year, to be quite honest. That he must have really hustled hard and really only have been able to focus on himself to do something like that. Because that's impressive for just a year, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it does look like a dolphin, doesn't it? 100%. My girlfriend was busy, so I tried to fix her daughter's hair before bed. She says it makes mermaid hair in the morning. I got the thumbs up from her for my very first attempt at a French braid, which of course made me smile. That's awesome. I mean, slow clap, because I don't even know how to French braid. It's bamboozled me for years. And now that I'm looking at this, obviously, like, I'm seeing, okay, some straight down stuff and stuff from the side. Like, this definitely isn't something that I think I would want to attempt. It is not for me. My dad just emailed a baby picture of me. It reminded me of a picture of my daughter. Aww, that's cute. I love that. That's adorable. I love that they both did the same thing. Oh, elementary flag. Oh. Yeah, that's too cute. Nope. She knows it's dorky. It's dorky and super cute, but I love that. That's really cute. It's super dorky though. That's really dorky. Finally found a medication that works. Overcame anorexia, stopped self-harming, feeling healthier and happier than I have in years. That's awesome. I love that. What's happening? We are under Made Me Smile. That's good. And it probably helps that she's getting out into sunshine. And she's not afraid to show her arms now, too. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. What's on her finger? Oh, it's a little tree frog. Here, let me make it bigger so you guys can see it. They're both wearing flower hats. They're both wearing flower hats, which is really adorable. First picture was the peak of my opiate addiction. Second is a recent of one of my health, of me healthy and sober. First picture is the opiate addiction. Second is healthy. Okay. I'm just looking at the hair. I mean, I feel like the hair should be flipped. But yay, that's awesome because that's super hard. I mean, you can tell, I mean, from the phones. Number one, she got away from the apples. So yay. Hello, Android. Good job. Up votes for that. Sorry. But no, that's good. Like, I haven't actually been under this subreddit before, Made Me Smile. And I didn't realize, I mean, there's a lot of posts like this where people were like, hey, like, this is me before of a thing. And it like they label as personal win. That's really great. I love seeing that. And it's not like it's your, you know, most before and after photos I see of people are, I was really heavy and I lost weight, which is great. But this turn has a new spin on it where you see more of the background of somebody, right? Because, I mean, part of somebody gaining weight or losing weight can be depression or mental health issues or whatever, what have you, right? I mean, when I grew up, I was cared for. I wasn't neglected, but emotionally, total emotional neglect. 100% total emotional neglect. So like, I understand, you know, doing really terrible in school, still doing really terrible in school for most of my life because I was undiagnosed with ADHD. And I still probably have a bunch of things that are also undiagnosed, but like, I don't let it define me, right? What I attribute a lot of my personal current success to is understanding behavior. Because when I was younger, you know, I got really hyper-accessed, like a lot of ADHD people do, hyper-accessed and hyper-focused into the world of birds and parrots. And then that led me into, you know, I went to a lot of seminars. I went to listen to a lot of professional speaking. I ended up taking some courses when I was younger. And it led me into the world of behavior. And I feel like if it wasn't for me understanding behavior and really focusing on it and seeing everything and what everybody does in the world as behavior, I wouldn't have been motivated enough to start changing me and buckling down and becoming serious about changing my behavior to help me get past the struggles that I was getting past. So, I don't need congratulations. I just want to tell you my story and where I come from, because a lot of people don't know and understand that a lot of things, I mean, it's all malleable, right? And there was even some studies that came out about, they used to call it fixed action patterns. Okay. If you haven't heard of fixed action patterns, it is, they're like, for example, I think it was snow geese. I think snow geese do this. I don't remember the exact species of goose that does it, but it's a goose species. It could be Canadian goose or it could be a snow goose. Regardless, a fixed action pattern is a pattern that an animal will automatically do based on the DNA that they have in their body. The DNA is literally causing this action, therefore it is fixed, therefore you cannot change it, right? Yet it is also a behavior. Now, here's the thing. So, for example, if a female goose is sitting on a nest or a male goose is sitting on a nest and one of the eggs rolls out of the nest, they automatically go to put it back in, right? Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of other species of animals do this throughout the world as well. Not necessarily this particular behavior, but they have different kinds of fixed action patterns that they do for their particular species, right? Now, in the past 5 years, they've had to change this. What they call fixed action patterns are now called mobile action patterns, because what they found out is that this is not a fixed behavior. It's not just genetics that is driving this behavior. This is important because this changed my perspective. Okay. Mobile action patterns means it is malleable to change. Okay. So they thought it was only eggs. Well, if you can over time shape it to also be to other objects, right? So for example, if you have two geese who are sitting on a nest, both will grab and put the egg back in under their bellies. And let's say you put a tennis ball in there immediately right away. Well, they're going to be like, nah, I don't want to do that. But through malleability and behavior training, you can teach them to put the tennis ball back in underneath their belly, right? This isn't exactly what they did, but this is just an example. So it is mobile. Now we understand it to be mobile. It is not fixed. And it is because of learning about small things like this in my life that has really changed my perspective on a lot of things. It might be a lot of hard work to get to whatever goal you have, or maybe it's a goal you gave up on a long time ago because now you believe that whatever it is, it's fixed and it's not able to change. I'm here to tell you otherwise. And one of my mantras is I am not going to give up yet because I have not tried all possible ways to get to whatever that goal it is that I have. And it might take time. It might take 5 years, but I'll do it. Right? So I want to tell you guys that here today. We're changing your idea from a fixed action pattern to now a mobile action pattern. Yeah, it might take some time and tweaking, but it's not based on your DNA. A lot of it is, but a lot of it is not, right? So that's really just what I want to tell you guys. I hope that inspired you in some way. Okay. Anyway, so it's now 12:04. What is this? You tell him, Kat. Oh my Lord. This is harassment. That's harassment. All right. Okay, so I think we're going to end it on that note. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming and joining me. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I hope that inspired you and helps you to keep moving forward because it will take time. And even to this day, I've started to notice where like my own mental state starts to talk down more and not celebrate as much. One of my own personal goals right now is to celebrate more every day and every moment. And sometimes it's a great day where I'm doing it and I realize, oh my gosh, this day was great. And it's all because I changed what I'm saying to myself in my head and how I'm celebrating and what I'm celebrating. Because normally I just push it away. And I'm like, I don't need that. I did that already. Okay, fine. I did this one thing. Let's get to the next one. Right. Which is fine once you get to that point and level. But when you're just beginning out, it can be very demotivating and you don't want to do that next thing. So I've made a choice to start being more aware of celebrating all of my little things I got done today. And I've started to notice that it builds my momentum and I get going even more, right? Well, the foundation will be built on DNA, but the house above depends on you, right? I mean, you can't deny DNA, right? You can't deny it. You acknowledge it and you say hello, but then you work with what you got, 100%. Absolutely. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. I will be going live in Service dog prep for free service dog training Tuesday at 7 p.m. That's changed up an hour as well. I notice a lot more people are active in the group around 7 o'clock, so I am making it at 7. And then, of course, you can join me next week here live on Sunday Brunch, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I would love to see you guys in service dog prep. Also, I have 3 openings in my calendar this week for free consultations. If you are interested in grabbing one of those spots, free 30-minute consultation. If you guys have questions about your service dog, if you have been thinking about hiring a service dog coach for a while, send me a message. I'm more than happy to schedule that with you and giving you one of those free spots. Yep, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the service dog free service dog training in the Facebook group Service Dog Prep. All right, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great Sunday. We're going to go and celebrate my birthday, which is actually happening Tuesday. So we're going to have some fun today, later on, and I hope you guys do as well. Bye, guys. Have a great Sunday.